Hello everyone, welcome back to Backend Connect the Dots channel. In this video, I would like to talk about the API manager and runtime manager and how it is used in the MuleSoft. Okay, let's jump in. Yeah, API manager is actually one of the element in the Anypoint platform. When you go to the Anypoint platform and register yourself over there, you can see that on the drop down there is an Anypoint platform. I can show you over here. If you see, this is the Anypoint platform. When you register yourself over here, when you go to the drop down over here, you can see these are the two elements which are present in the on the drop down. One is the API manager and the runtime manager. So I would like to talk about API manager and how it is used in the MuleSoft. So API manager is a place where you will be applying like in security policies and API governance of your application, and you will be controlling the access of your application in the API manager. Okay, whenever you create an application and register the application and on the API manager, then this if you see I have created one of the application over here. This is my application. Once I created application, the every API will be having like an unique API instance ID. This is the ID. It helps us to configure your API with the runtime, because this is just a place where you manage this API governance and the policies on your application. It acts as a API gateway. Whenever a request comes into your application, the API manager will be taking of that whether the user has access or not. But the actual application was deployed on the runtime manager, so the API manager is the place where you will be managing your policy. If you see this, this is a summary of my application, and if you see the contracts, you can create multiple contracts who wants to access, who owns the ownership of this application, and you can create over here like and if you create an up in the API exchange, then you can uh, access them or remove them or manage them over here. Coming to the policies, you can add number of policies like in basic authentication, OAuth authentication, like in IP block listing, IP basically uh, JWT validation and whitelisting, IP whitelisting, and you can add those things over here. Policies. Okay, and basically, yeah, it's as I mentioned, it's a basically an API gateway and to manage your traffic to your application. Coming to the runtime manager, it is the place where you deploy the application. If you go to the manager on the Anypoint platform, you can create the application over here by the same name. It's a best practice to create the same names to uh, validate whatever the name you have given in the API manager. You have to give it's best practice to give it over here. And this is where you create the application and deploy the application. This is where you manage the application, like in creating like in how many instance of the uh, application can be created like in because a uh, MuleSoft was completely developed on the AWS. So if you want to, once you create application, if you want to increase the size of your replicas of your application, you can increase like in you can make multiple instance of your application on the AWS over here replicas, and you can add the memory. You can increase the size of your application also, like in they call it as a vCores over here. So if you want to increase the memory and everything over here, this is the place on the runtime you will be adding the memory and making the replicas of your application to make it high availability for the different regions. If there is a traffic more, so if you want to make like an more availability, like in one of the, if you create only one replica, it will be the completely load will be on one replica. If you create multiple, if there is a huge traffic coming in, the API gateway will be take caring of routing that, dividing the traffic into multiple replicas. So this is where in the next video I will show you like in how to deploy the application and how to register the application. Okay. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please drop in the comments and let me know is there any improvements needs to be done. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.